everyone. So today is October 17th. 16th. Yesterday was my sister Hannah's birthday. Not really sure how old she is now. 26-ish. But yeah, so we've been still pretty busy. We finished up combining. We got the bin full. That holds about 10,000 bushels roughly. So yeah, that is max full. We went up there, leveled everything off, and can't really get much more in there without having a crown. And we want to keep that as level with the top of the bin as we can, so it airs out better. Then we had two partial gravity boxes of corn yet that we didn't get in. Took them up to the creamery. Actually took one up. Then we still got to take one more up there yet. But there's total like 700 bushels or something, not a whole lot. So that's all wrapped up. Dad's been making a bunch of corn stalk bales. We got a few of them home, but we still got a lot to do. He made, I think he said close to 300 bales. They turned out really nice. It's been hot. Well, it was hot. The last couple of days here got pretty cold. It actually froze the last few nights. But it's been sunny, it's been dry, so they turned out really nice. We've used a couple for the calves and the calving pen and stuff. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, they turned out really nice, so you made quite a few just to kind of bank them up because you can never have enough bedding. So last few days now, I've been kind of getting caught up on projects around the barn, stuff that's been broke and meaning to fix. So I had the scraper on the third side. That broke like right in the middle of doing high moisture and stuff, and I kind of showed it just a bit in a couple of videos ago, and I said this is gonna have to wait for a few days. So we cleaned that out with the Bobcat for a couple. Camera shut off on me. So anyways, finally got that other scraper fixed. But the issue was the main, this is called a planetary motor, that just broke. I don't know why. There's oil in it, we checked it, but it's just something locked up tight in there, whether a gear broke or a shaft, something. So we figured out that was our issue. So he basically took that whole scraper apart, put this new motor in there, then basically put everything back together. Had the chain all pulled out, and that was not a fun job at all. But we got it done, and that actually just did that yesterday. Got that going yesterday evening. Now that one's good. But so when we replaced that, I found out you got to replace the big sprocket that turns the chain. So as your chain gets older and wears, it actually kind of stretches and the links get bigger. I'll show you what I'm talking about, because I'm not a great explainer. So this big wheel, you replace them. So you don't, I guess you put a new one in. So this sprocket, we'll call it, is designed for like a new chain where the links are normal size. As those chains stretch, you got to get different ones that have a bigger gap in it so that chain fits in there better and catches. And this scraper, it's been jumping. That chain doesn't sit in there properly, and as it's spinning, that chain will pop off, and then it screws up where it stops. It's like it'll go too far because it's still turning, but it's not reading that the actual chain is moving, but just the motor's turning. So we got to put a new sprocket in this one. I'm actually going to try to turn this on and show you what it does. I'm sure it'll do it right away. So I did it twice there. You see now it didn't sit in there right, and it kept spinning. That chain jumped back. So we gotta put a different socket in or sprocket in there so that chain doesn't do that. So here's the sprocket that is going to go in there. So you kind of see how the chains, they sit this way in there, then the opposite side will be up and down and go in that groove. So apparently this is a little longer than the original one. So on that, so when we had to take that motor off, a third side scraper, basically we had to take the sprocket off too to get that motor out. But this was probably the worst part of the whole process. Just so there's a wedge, or I call it a wedge, but I think the proper name is a tapered bushing that holds the sprocket on. And this just gets covered in manure since the day we turn it on. Everything is so corroded and just kind of rusty and full of manure. But you got to take this here off. So there's 3 bolts that hold it on. There's 2 bolt holes, 2 here and here. That's a key. Take these bolts out and stick them in these holes, and that pushes against the sprocket. That's supposed to pull that out. Like I said, how just corroded everything is, and we had a heck of a time getting the other one off. We put those bolts in, they snapped off. So then we had a gear puller on here pulling on it. We were torching it, heating it up. It wasn't going. We ended up getting some grade 8 bolts, put them in those other holes. They didn't break on us. They got a little more pressure on it. You pound on this big sprocket, kind of pound it in, get a little more turn on those bolts, and finally it came loose. But that was a bugger. So I'm hoping after doing that one, we got a better idea how to take this off. Hopefully it goes a lot smoother. But first I gotta lower it all the way down, get some slack in that chain so I can pull the chain off, take the sprocket off, put a new one on there, put it back on. It's kind of the plan. So nothing really exciting, just a lot of dirty hands, bloody knuckles, and a lot of curse words. But I'll show a little bit. My hands are gonna be dirty, so I really don't feel like wiping my hands off to turn the camera on and off. So I'm just gonna get going on that and kind of show you the final result. All right, so got it lowered all the way down. Got that much slack out of it. You can see the chain. It's supposed to be straight there. So that's how much slack you get by lowering it. So we got these 3 bolts out. Put 2 grade 8 bolts in there. Got them pushed up all against that blue sprocket. So now we're gonna take a worked last time as a crowbar, hit against here, try to back it off, turn that a little bit, pound it some more, turn it, and hopefully it comes loose. Alright, starting to get some stress. So got those bolts all the way in, maxed out. So basically it pushed that sprocket in, but this wedge hasn't moved this way at all. So I think I'm gonna back these bolts off, pound that in just to break it loose, and then try pulling it out again. Really needs to come this way, but there's no way to get at it good coming back that way. We're gonna try that. Alright, so pounding it in did work, it moved it. So it's telling me that it's fairly loose, but just doesn't want to pull out. So I took some emery cloth. I got this all cleaned up better. So we're gonna spray that down with some penetrating fluid again and try it again. Alright, so I was coming along pretty good, then it just kind of stopped. I think I ran out of thread on this gear puller. If you saw, I put the socket in there to add, kind of as an extra push, a little more length on it, and I did the trick. So now we know for next time. Alright. Now, get that chain out. Oh, what the hell? Alright, so we are back in business. So yeah, I got that on there, and then so I loosened that all the way down because that chain stretched that much. So every fall I go through the scrapers anyways and take that slack out. So I did that to the scrapers, kind of had to reposition them where the stop and the home and the stop position is. Tighten the chain back up. Once you run it, it kind of gets a little more slacking again, so you tighten it up a bit. We should be good though. I think it seems like it's running good. So now I just got all the tools all picked up, and that should be it. So I should replace that same sprocket on that scraper on the first side, because now these other two have been replaced, but not that one. But that one's been running really good. It hasn't been skipping like this one has. So we'll do that, but we got some other stuff to get done here. We got to pick up corn stalk bales and probably to do some tillage. We'll get that before it gets cold out, but for now we're all right. Had a couple one calf was born this morning during milking. The other one was born just now while I was working on that. Both Angus calves. And no, we're not starting a beef herd or nothing. Just so I've been breeding with a little bit of beef the last a little over a year ago now, and I use it on cows, good cows that don't want to settle with regular Holstein semen. So you give them beef, they have a higher conception rate with that. You just get the cow pregnant again, get her back, keep her around. Actually right now actually it's starting to come down, but for kind of all summer, the price for beef calves was extremely high. You know, we got up to, I think we got 600, maybe 700 bucks a couple times for these beef calves. But I've heard they've gone as high as 800-900 bucks, which is probably 200 to 300 bucks higher than the regular Holstein bull calf. I mean, not that $900. I mean, you get $300-400 for a Holstein bull calf right now, which is still, you can't complain about that. That's a really good price. I mean, it wasn't long ago you were getting 20-30 bucks a calf, so it's still really good. But these beef calves, they are gold right now. But we haven't sold any for a little while, so they might be coming down some. But healthy little buggers. So some farms breed with a lot more beef. Like they kind of got their cows all like a top 10%. You know, you got your middle 50%, then your bottom, whether it be 30-40%. A lot of those farms are breeding that 30-40% with all beef. The top 10% would get sex semen, which you should get a heifer calf out of, which seems like a really good way to do it. Smart, but I don't have, I'm sure I could figure out the numbers with DHIA, but I'm not to that point yet. I'm not that far along and smart, I guess. I just use it on cows I have trouble breeding, or really old cows that I don't like, so they probably are the bottom percent of the herd. So I just use it on them. We don't get a ton of it, and I do use some sex semen on some younger cows and kind of playing around with it. So I'm just gonna wait, make sure the scraper gets to the end here and stops where it's supposed to stop. Should stop right about there. Stop. Okay. What are you doing? Kind of wanted to run just a touch too far. We're gonna just set that home back couple inches. Stop it right there. And go to here, hit a few buttons, cancel the home, reset the new home. Should be good. Well, let's hope that works. So this scraper, it won't run with this door open. So you stick there's a sensor here. See, I always pop. I'm trying to watch it run. It's nice to have it open. Close that back up. Oh, time to pick up some bales. So I said before, I said get dirty hands, a lot of cuss words and bloody knuckles, but I didn't show any of the cuss words, but you can see the knuckles. These two got it yesterday, and that one got her today. Yeah, just know it's gonna happen too. Nothing you can do about it. I suppose the guy could wear gloves. That probably would help a little bit. keep your hands a lot cleaner, but then you can't feel that. So this isn't extremely exciting, just drive around, Dad throws them on, bring it back to the yard, unload them, do it again. So I don't know if we showed since the hay shed got done. I think Tuck was down here videoing them when they were putting the steel on. Yeah, they finished this up. Ben and Jake, and actually Kyle was out helping that last day too, I saw. It turned out pretty nice. Nothing super crazy and huge, but should get quite a few more bales under a roof. On this front here, this V10 or whatever, that was on the existing shed. We just took that off, or Ben took it off and put it on this side. Probably didn't need to have it on, but kind of makes the building look a little sharper. I don't know, this will be the third load going in, and it'll be about half full. But we're still gonna have a pile of bales sitting outside for a while because there is a lot. Usually we'll put them on this end of the building, so I clean up all this scrap wood and kind of pick out the better stuff and throw the other stuff in the burn pile, I suppose. So I'll get to have a nice bonfire tonight.